All right. Well, as we're doing Welcome to Rum, and we're welcoming our friend Joel here to the world of rum. We've already visited Cuba, we visited Martinique, and we've started off in Jamaica talking about pot still and a little bit of history and how Jamaican rum figures into the history of Tiki and the prototype for Tiki drinks through Don Beach or Ernest Raymond Beaumont Gant. Well, now that we've gone through the more funky and challenging pot still and dark Jamaican rums that I have on hand, I thought we'd do some of the more approachable ones. And because Joel asked about, well, what difference does aging make, I thought this would be a great way to do it. So we're going to look at 3 different expressions of Appleton Estate Rum, which is made by the distillers of Ray and Nephew. We're going to start right here with the Select, then we're going to move to the Reserve, and then we're going to try the 12-year.
And you said that these are more approachable?
Yeah, I find these to be much more mellow.
So if you see one of these rums at a bar, or Joel, you can
take them home.
You can go up and talk to them; they won't blow you off.
So,
no comeback for that one.
I'm sorry. It doesn't deserve a comment.
Jason's just like
doesn't deserve.
So anyway,
it's like a dad joke.
As we've said before, Ray and I are far from rum experts, but over time doing Tiki things, you become a bit of a rum enthusiast. So once you've had enough cocktails, you start wondering, why do I like this one more than the next?
Okay.
And it gets me drunk.
And you start noticing on menus that one cocktail will feature a Jamaican rum, one will feature a Barbados rum, one will feature a rum from Martinique. And you're wondering, okay, well, what makes the difference there? Well, you've already tried several from Jamaica, so what were your impressions on the pot still and dark rums that we tried?
Very flavorful. A lot going on. Not something I think about when I think of rum. Very much a darker, molassesy type flavor. A wholly different animal.
So a genuine flavor of molasses and of fruits.
Yeah.
And none of them are really sipping rums. Like I wouldn't, outside of maybe the Dr. Bird, I wouldn't pour any of these by themselves unless you're going to add a little sugar and a lime to them.
Yeah, I mean, but they all had a lot of flavor, so I would imagine they would impart a lot of character to any drink that you do.
Yeah.
Put them in.
So the Jamaican rums, especially when I taste them, to me, I think tropical. It tastes tropical to me.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So right now we're going to start off with the Appleton Estate Select, and they've got a new labeling, and it's really attractive bottles that they've changed over to. So this is going to be a lightly to moderately aged rum. I don't think it's aged any more than 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
But it doesn't specifically tell you on the label what the aging is on it. But it's blended for a particular flavor profile.
It doesn't say anything?
And by blended...
Oh, yeah, it says it right here. A long time. No, it doesn't even say that.
Well, I went on a few deployments in the Navy, and I can tell you 6 months is a damn long time.
Yeah, I guess so. So let's try it.
Just so you know, this one is going to be a 40% alcohol by volume, so 80 proof, which is pretty much standard for rum.
Okay.
So we'll start over here on the left, and you notice first that it's a little bit lighter than the other ones, so it's got the least amount of aging in it.
Mm-hmm.
See, now that's tasting more like what? Well,
traditionally, what I think of as rum. This very much.
Yeah, this tastes like
that.
rum.
This tastes like rum.
But this, I treat this rum to me as kind of a workhorse rum, something that would go into a lot of cocktails because it doesn't necessarily stand out on its own, but it's a good rum.
Right.
I will say this: it's smoother.
Yes.
But not very complex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not as flavorful, but it goes down smoothly.
Yes. I agree.
But it lends itself well to mixing with other ingredients and other rums in a cocktail.
Yeah, I mean, this tastes like something that I would put in a rum and coke.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't bad at all. Is this hard to find?
No, these are fairly standard. Well, the Select is fairly standard, as in it's a lower to mid level at most stores. So offhand, except for Washington taxes, you're probably able to pick it up for, I would say, between about $25 and $30.
Oh, okay. So it's very affordable.
Right.
Okay.
Aside from Washington taxes.
Yeah. So as long as you don't live in the state of Washington, it's affordable.
All right. Moving right along, we've got the Reserve blend. So that's a little more prestigious. So if you want to elevate your cocktails, or if you want to drink it by itself, it's going to be a higher level of rum.
But still something you would put in a cocktail. You wouldn't want to save this for.
Yeah, I've used that in Mai Tais and quite a few others.
Okay.
Well, let's try it.
But there's nothing wrong with it by itself either.
That's good. That's real good.
That's very good. Very smooth.
So to me, it definitely has a more complex flavor to it than the Select did.
This tastes similar to this, but it's smoother.
It's smoother, and it definitely has a little darker finish.
Yes.
On the back end.
It's a little bit more refined than this one.
It's got more flavor components, which means generally that it was aged longer, and when they blended it for that flavor profile.
But still very much what I think of as rum. That's.
I don't know if I'd. I mean, if I was to drink it straight, I could. But I don't know if I would go to this rum to drink this straight. You know.
Yeah, compared to like the agricoles that we tried earlier,
or the Cuban rums,
right? I think those seem to be more complex and flavorful, and would lend themselves more to being just kind of a standalone alcohol. But these are very good, and I definitely could drink this by itself.
Now, what I'm finding as we're going through these Jamaican rums is these are the workhorses. Mm-hmm. These are the ones that you're going to be using in a lot of your cocktails.
Yes, if you go through Matt Petrick's Minimalist Tiki, you'll find out that Jamaican rum comes up over and over and over again in the classic 30 recipes that he goes over for Tiki.
Hey gang, we'll get back to the Tiki conversation here in just a second, but I want to let y'all know they have t-shirts for sale. They are screen printed in America. The artist is Tony Canepa, and they're going for $20 a piece, $25 including shipping. If you're interested in buying one, go to my website, tikiwithray.com, and then there's a tab that says buy a t-shirt. Click on there and just follow the prompts. So thank you very much. And let's get back to the Tiki conversation now.
And now, for the most prestigious of the three,
the 12-year.
The 12-year, or I think it's labeled as Appleton Extra 12. So it's got that little something extra.
It definitely looks darker than the others.
Yes, and this one's going to be at 43% alcohol by volume.
Okay, but that's again, these are all blended, right? So it's kind of what the blender puts together. This is not the same.
What they're giving you is a guarantee of 12 years aging on it.
Okay,
right, but they're pulling from the same things. So what goes into making this, if it's aged longer, will go into making that.
So this could become that if it were to age longer.
Right.
This is the same. Okay.
Right, depending on what the blenders put together.
Is that the same thing with this rum?
But blending can also indicate that they're using both pot still and column still. Pot still tends to be more flavorful, but also tends to be more harsh. Column still tends to be milder, but for production it's more efficient. You have less loss when you're doing column still. Mm. But if you blend the two together, you get the benefits of both.
Well, let's try this, Big Daddy.
All right, Extra 12.
Mm. A lot more fragrant.
Yes.
Than the other two.
This tastes completely different than these two.
Very much.
These both taste very, very similar. This tastes completely different.
It's a very notable
better.
jump up.
It's considerably better.
Yeah.
Like this is a rum that I would drink by itself.
Agreed.
And I would say it's got more of like a smoky finish, like you would have with a Scotch.
Yeah, I would definitely put it more in line with an aged Scotch or.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this is something you could happily sip on.
But it still does have the rum overtones.
Yep, absolutely. I think you can as I'm tasting these, they have a style. There's a taste to them, but they are definitely slightly different, except for this one. This one is its own engine.
For sure.
This is definitely the standout of all three. But I'm not surprised though. Would you use this in cocktails or would you drink it straight?
I would prefer to drink that straight. I wouldn't really mix it, and if I did mix it, it would be something that was very much spirit forward, not something that was heavy on juices or syrups.
Yep.
So just a touch of something to kind of try and bring out the flavor it's already got, not to mask the flavor or subdue the flavor.
Yeah, that's very good.
So usually in the tiki cocktails that have multiple rums in them, you'll have at least one rum that's just kind of pulling a little bit of weight. It's not so much adding to flavor, and that'll usually be a Virgin Island or a Puerto Rican rum. And then you'll have an aged Jamaican or a Demerara that really adds punch to it, or a Martinique,
Yeah.
or even a Barbados.
So why in some of the tiki drinks is there multiple rums in them?
Because what Don Beach figured out is that what you can't do with one rum, you can do with 3 or 4 rums. So we talked about earlier how the sing-song rhyme of 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, and 4 of weak. Well, what Don Beach did is he took that apart and broke it up, deciding, okay, well, rather than just having lime for your 1 of sour, you could have lime and grapefruit, half and half. Instead of 3 of strong being 3 parts of one rum, you could have 3 different rums with a 1/3 part of each one of those. Or you can break it up even more. You can have 1.5 ounces of this, 1.5 ounces of that, and then 1/2 ounce of a really strong Demerara.
So the idea is just like you said, one rum could provide the taste of the drink, but the other one is more to just add to the overall thing.
Right. The gift in kind of creating what tiki cocktails would become is that Don Beach taught people that you can layer flavors in a cocktail. That the cocktail isn't just to mask the fact that you're using bad or cheap alcohol.
Yeah.
That you can elevate, that you can bring out that spirit, that you can make it more than it was before.
Yeah. So if you were going to use this Appleton Signature series, it would be almost like the base rum kind of.
Yes.
And then there would be the better rum that would be on top of it.
Right.
Or something with just a completely different flavor profile.
Or let's say that you've got a drink that's got multiple syrups or multiple juices in it, where the rum's not going to stand out as much because you're getting all that other flavoring in there.
Well,
So you got a choice. You can either use a rum that's going to do its job but not stand out, or pick a rum that's going to be very overpowering isn't the right word, but will jump out at you more.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you make us a couple cocktails with some of these rums in, and let's see how they go.
I think that should be our next step. We should do a couple of cocktails with Jamaican rums, and see what Joel thinks on that.
Oh,
All
I'm
right,
feeling
cool.
irie.
All right,
Let's do this.
you go, Joe, and we'll just hang out here and we'll bullshit until you come back. So now that he's gone,
I do like that. That's really good.
that is good.
What do you think, Jason? Is it like twice the price? What are you thinking? I mean,
Come on, Jay, let's do some shots. Hey gang, this is Tiki with Ray, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more episodes, click on the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, give it a like. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below.